Okay. Oh, fuck. Celsius. Okay. We're locked in. Okay, I'm logging out. Relogging. Hitting the quick little relogger. Damn. Been fucking bank standing forever. Not even bank standing though. Alrighty. Let's see what type of EXP per hour we can get here. Okay, now we're locked in. Let's see what type of EXP rates we can get here. Come here. Oh, this is pretty chill so far. Although I just started, so my brain hasn't. I need to like. It's like there's a point once your brain, you like start something, and it's like, oh, this shit's so fucking boring. This sucks. You just need to get over that hump. Get over that hump. That hump. MMA. And then AAA. Okay, here we go. I pulled up the mixology thing. So the best we can do right now is this 75 one. We unlock another one at 78. Anti-leech. Okay. 81 is when this really becomes, you could say, beneficial. Or the best EXP rates probably per hour, but 81 is what I need for fucking brews, so yeah. And I'd rather honestly just get the EXP now from Mixology, get the little rewards I'm going for, and just call that it. Fuck. The shooting star left. Uno momento, por favor. 8. Relica mine. Yeah, I hear you, sir. Heck. What the heck, bro? My account's frozen. What the heck's going on here? The hell, bro? That was some of the worst lag I've ever seen in my life. What the fuck? That was bad. Okay, we're mining. Back to what we're doing. ML. Of course, I had to reset that. AAM. ALA. Easy. Boom. Bro, why does it feel like my internet's slow? Not even gonna lie, what the heck? L AAM MLO
like 0.1% of streamers. It is the top 10% of 1% that are able to survive and make enough money to like do whatever they want. It is very, very difficult to achieve that status. Not even Zaryu was able to come and play RuneScape and like be happy with and content with the amount of like money and stuff that he was going to be able to make playing RuneScape. His viewers just wanted to watch him play WoW. He doesn't do well with variety. And it's like, it's tough, man. Not a lot of people are able to do this. And so if you are, you're super lucky. You are super lucky.
Also specific answers, specific to creators, their motivations, and their goals, as well as some important takeaways for prospect players, content creators, and even game developers. So let's get into it. As I see it, burnout is one of the two main culprits that causes departure. I'm sure most of us know what burnout is, but in my perspective, burnout is achieved through certain environments. What causes...
Thank you for the 5 gifted subs, guys. That's another back-to-back bomb on the stream. Thank you for 5 gifted, Mr. Villain, and enjoy that Rune Simi, or Dragon Simi. Rune Simi would have been a downgrade. Dragon Simi badge forever on Twitch, my man.
Causes an individual to burn out is a feeling of stagnancy, a lack of movement. So if your journey through a game is like a long, winding road trip, burnout would be gridlock.
Sardaco Hair win. Right after this 10-minute timeout. How about that, Sir Gavin? Yeah, enjoy that.
Endless traffic. When you feel like you aren't making progress, then you end up perceiving time spent in the game as wasted. OSRS mitigates this by having loads of different goals to incrementally work toward, but also brings this upon itself by having certain pitfalls in its progression. Incredibly rare drops that gate a huge swath of content, such as the Bofa and its respective crystal armor obtained through the corrupted gauntlet, is actually a great example of this. While the content is great, it also acts like a bottleneck for Ironman. Until you complete it, you feel restricted.
Did you guys notice that every single WoW player quit when they got to the gauntlet? Every single one? You guys think that's a coincidence? Or a game design issue? A little bit of both? I don't know. If I'm Jagak, I'm looking at that, scratching my head and saying, is there anything we could do differently? Is there anything we could do better? What is the reason that a lot of Ironmen quit right here? Are some of the grinds too brutal for Ironmen? Do we want people to quit there? Is that the goal? Is the goal for people to quit? How do we make people keep playing the game? Is there anything we can change? I'm asking myself these type of questions. You know what I mean? That's what you got to do.
Through into the end game, even if that's not always the case. No surprise then that quite a few of these WoW streamers quit around this time. Shobek, for example, got his enhanced crystal seed relatively early, but at that point clearly felt the weight of burnout pushing him away. The same kind of issue exists.
To be fair though, Shobek was playing 12 hours a day every day and he doesn't ever take a day off. How do streamers stream every single day? I would lose my mind. I have to take a day off. I take 2 days off a week. I love playing video games. And sometimes I play on my day off. Sometimes I stream on my day off. Because I'm like, fudge, I'm not doing anything else today. Might as well just hit go live. Because I'm going to play video games anyway. Because I'm having fun. But at a certain point, like, dude, you need a day off. And you know who else is taking days off? Peekaboo. That guy's insane. He's been doing it
same applies to smithing, mining after a certain point, firemaking, runecraft, hunter, thieving. Wow, there are a lot of skills in this game that need some work, but that's a subject for another video. To lay out the issue, these are people who play games.
Oh, 5 gifted subs from Toby. Yo, thank you, Toby, for the 5 gifted, guys. Holy, another one. 5 bombs flooding in. We do have the discount on the gifted subs for 5+. I thought it was going to be gifted subs for everyone. It's actually only discounted for 5 or more. I used one of my Twitch promotions on that, so we could get people some discounts. Thank you guys for throwing on the 5 gifted subs. You guys are legends. I appreciate that, boys.
As a career, their jobs rely on them being entertaining, and that is difficult to do when experiencing a level of burnout. Burnout stems from long hours, a lack of diverse content, i.e. being stuck in the corrupted gauntlet, and slow progression, gridlock. The impression of immobility can also happen thanks to setting far-reaching goals that you don't make meaningful progression toward every day.
Yep.
So if you just started the game and decide, I want to get the Inferno Cape, every day won't feel meaningful in your journey to achieve that. Old school RuneScape does rely.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, I was about to say maybe not true, but that is a good take because some days I had regression, and some days I backtracked on my prog. It was like 2 days during the Inferno grind where I didn't make it back to my previous wave. So there was 2 days where I backtracked, and those days, yeah, like you're gonna have those days, and even Foe and like Bodhi and all these guys, like, yeah, regression is like a normal thing, so don't be too hard on yourself.
On setting goals. That's the only way to get invested in the game, but they need to be curated goals, balanced around your current place. If you're new, think Dragon Slayer, Dragon Defender, Dragon Scimitar. If you're in the mid game,
Dragon
think
Simi, baby!
Quest Cape, Osmund's Fang. If you're in the end game, that's when Inferno, Colosseum, and the Theater of Blood become possible. This all comes to a head when there's also some misunderstandings of the game's purpose. I'm not trying to imply that these WoW streamers were playing the game wrong. That's the beauty of OSRS. You can play however you want, just that expectations may have burned gridlock. I've said this before, but World of Warcraft is very much combat-centric. Combat is 70%
all
of
combat.
the game. It'd be 90% if we're counting the time spent traveling between the next combat
90%.
encounter. 95% if we're counting waiting for groups to fill for combat. It's singular in its purpose, and that also applies to classic WoW, even when it had a broader, slower paced goal in mind. Not a problem, but also not anything like OSRS, which is maybe like 30% combat-centric, certainly when playing an Ironman. If that is your preferred game mode, you simply can't only be doing combat. I say this often, but RuneScape isn't just a point-and-click adventure game, and it isn't just a rhythm game. It's also a management game.
Yeah.
You are managing your supplies, your inventory, your loadout. These are micro puzzles being solved every single time you do just about anything in the game. It's what creates so much engagement in the most minor action because maximizing efficiency.
Your inventory is part of your combat, and that is something that I think WoW can kind of take if they wanted to and make swapping your gear and things like that, the gear that you bring to the fight and the gear swaps and stuff like that matter a little bit more. And the only person that really matters to a lot in Classic WoW right now is warriors, especially warrior tanks. They will swap their gear a lot. They will also swap their spec if dual spec is available, which it is now. And I would swap between Fury or Deep Prot or Fury Prot and regular Fury, just depending if I was main tanking or off tanking or not tanking at all, and I would just do DPS, and then I would swap my gear. This is why I like Warrior. This concept needs to apply to everybody in the game, and it would make the game more interesting for every class. Making your bag part of the fight is such a great idea.
Is part of successful management. Every time I see people mock at efficient players, how can you have fun doing that? Well, for the same reason you have fun playing Factorio, RimWorld, and Stardew Valley. Aggregating resources
Stardew Valley shout out.
is satisfying. And then having content to use those resources on for impactful account progression is the best feeling in the world. But that only happens if you enjoy that part of the game. For example, if you only join RuneScape
get a Zuck out. Everything else, I don't really care about. I actually view it more as a chore than I do a game. And that's why I feel like I made a mistake on the selection screen picking Ironman, but also it's a lot more interesting to watch an Ironman. So now at my point in my journey, I've realized that I have a sunk cost fallacy. I can't go back now. We just got to send it, and I got to do all this other stuff now. I just got to man up and do it. And so now I'm just fucking, I'm like, fuck it, I'm an Iron Man. We're already this far in. But I think he's kind of speaking to me right here.
And the most viewer friendly, well, shit, that's gonna make your overall journey feel really bad. You're doing things you hate.
However, if you do get, to an Infernal Cape, you do get the Bofa, you do get these grinds on an Ironman, it feels infinitely more rewarding because you sacrificed way more to get it. So more work, but more reward. That's Ironman.
For the off chance that you'll eventually get to the parts you don't. And that's broadly what I think happened for a lot of WoW streamers. The OSRS PVM is clearly very engaging. If you've never played, you may look at the screen and scoff at the colored squares and simplistic graphics, but OSRS has more mechanical depth for the individual player than just about any MMO. I say this as someone who rated cutting-edge content in WoW for many years. The mechanics in OSRS are not only harder, more punishing, and require more attention, but the game itself has more depth to its moment-to-moment gameplay.
True.
That's not to say mythic raiding in WoW is easy, just that it taps into a different skill set. It's group-centric, meaning that simplistic mechanics are made far harder when 20 people need to be doing them flawlessly and in tandem. But
Right.
individual mechanics in WoW rarely exceed that.
Right.
Moving left, moving right, standing there, hitting that, interrupting X, pushing P. The difficulty is in coordination. In OSRS, the difficulty stems from anything but. So if you don't like the management aspects of RuneScape, then you likely won't connect to the game. And if you only want to do the PVM, don't make an Ironman, right?
Damn!
That's the other broad
Okay.
criticism levied at these streamers. They shouldn't have made Ironman.
True!
And I wholeheartedly disagree. There are only two kinds of people streaming non-Ironman in the OSRS space. Very talented PVMers like No Monkey, Molgo, Kirby, and so on, and very talented PvPers such as Odablock, Dino, and Westham. Otherwise, even if you're a new player, Mainscape is just kind of fucking boring to watch, especially when you have
Oh, he's
viewers
spitting right
capable of
here.
giving you anything you need. While you can say just don't accept handouts, not only is that easier said than done, it also doesn't dispel the myth that it happens regardless. Similarly, the journey of Ironman, the need to do the wide breadth of content in the game, both good and bad, is what makes for compelling streams. Recently, Sardako went for the Inferno Cape, one of the hardest items in the entire game to obtain, and after 70 odd attempts, he got it. I don't think this would have hit as hard if he was rocking full BIS, range, and mage
Absolutely
with a
not.
3-build setup. The setbacks, the failures, mechanical and material, is what made the effort engaging to watch. That's what connected the viewers to the stream. They're not always fun, but it makes for the better story, the more exciting overall
Better story, that's 100% true. Iron Man's a better
mode is
story.
the de facto story.
Guys, that is a bar right there. Iron Man is a better story. Only real ones will get it. Only real ones will understand what that means.
Of old school RuneScape. It's not just for those who love grinding, and that hasn't been the case for like 8 years. It's there to give incentives to explore every part of this game and gain value from those parts. It's meant to be a natural form of progression. If I were to say anything in hindsight, it's that I wish there was more consideration for some group Ironman between players who stuck around for longer, as that can alleviate the mid-game resource grind.
That's why
I
group
can say
Iron Man
that
is the
from
best mode in the
experience,
game.
as my first time with OSRS was as a group Ironman, and look at me now. Now that we've covered the broad reasons, let's dip into specifics. To perform a good analysis, I wanted to reach out to some of these streamers and get their perspectives. I couldn't communicate with all of them, but those I did helped me a ton, so thank you. I
It's a
sat
good video,
down
Third Wise.
virtually
Good
with
video.
Jokered last week for an episode of my Fireside podcast. If
Ooh,
you're
I might wanna listen
wondering
to
what
that.
that is,
I might
it's
wanna
a
listen
show
to that
where I
after this.
bring on all kinds of wonderful content creators to yap about games,
See what
content
Jokered has to say.
creation, and more. You can find it on my second channel with the full Jokered episode uploaded. I've had Alien Food, Josh is in Gaming, the CEO of MMOs, and even a Jagex developer, Mod Grub, on to chat, with lots more coming in the future. As a thank you to my channel members, they also gain early access to future episodes of Fireside on my main channel. So if that interests you and you want to support these projects, feel free to become a member on this channel. Anyway, Jokered was the world first max level in Classic WoW during its release in 2019. I remember watching his gameplay at the time and genuinely being in awe at how much of a grinder he is. So it shouldn't go as any
Actual
surprise
gamer.
that he is one of those streamers that got incredibly invested in RuneScape. It kind of hits the elements of an MMO that speak to him. When I asked him about the departed streamers, those who left, he had this to say.
One of the worst things that I can think of as a streamer is you go live and you don't know what you're doing. You don't have a plan. You don't have a task to do. You're just like kind of like grasping at content, right? Which is something that I have many issues with WoW because I've played WoW for so long. I've made so many characters. It's just like at some point
Joker's spitting right
you're
here.
scraping the bottom of the barrel. There's just not that much left.
There's just
right?
nothing
I
left.
feel like with RuneScape, it's just like a bigger barrel, like a almost like a never-ending ocean in it, right? So
Yeah.
like I really like that about the game, where there's just so many ridiculously long grinds, and I feel like I could just never run out of things to do. So that's kind of what keeps me playing, as well as just trying to like, you know, do stuff, get things done, like level up the skills. Like I've been working on the achievement cape since I finished my quest cape, right, which is a while back now, and I still haven't even probably done half of it. So
Crazy.
it's one of those things where that's kind of what keeps me going and playing the game. Maybe for the other content creators, it's more about like doing the quests, maybe just checking out a bit of the mid game, right? They started playing before me as well, to be fair, right? So maybe they had their fill. I'm not sure. Like I can't really put myself in their shoes that well. You know?
A core reason why Joker not only stuck around, but went on to achieve some genuinely awe-inspiring things,
99
such as
sailing, by the
maxing
way.
sailing in under a week, as someone who has only been playing for like 4 months, is because he connected with the management side of RuneScape. His first 99 was farming, doing herb runs and stacking up resources for PVM grinds was satisfying
Yeah, the thing that made Zaryu quit is the thing Joker Max first.
content to him. He didn't hate that side of the game. He actively encouraged it, recognized that without it, the game would fail in its goal of being a long-term MMO. After all, he's no stranger to grinds. He did over 2,000 solos of a dungeon in Classic when farming a dagger. While for most Classic WoW players, the longest grind in the game is the Journey to Max, for OSRS players, that would be nothing. Breakfast. That's not to say that WoW Classic didn't have insane grinds such as rank 14, but that they weren't mandatory or done by most players. And in the case of rank
Yeah.
14, no longer exist in the way they used to.
And then I saw like a lot of other WoW content creators were playing it for like a month or so, right? And it's like I just tried the game out for a few days right before Mists of Pandaria launched, and ended up liking it. It was fun. I ended up stopping playing MOB, played for like a couple days only, and then I went back to RuneScape. Definitely the early game wasn't like the best compared to how it is now, but it's just like you gradually.
Wait, what?
The early game is like
I'm so fucking
mega
confused.
confusing, no quality of life. The mid game is so much better because you have fast travel. And then now, my favorite part of the game
Huh?
is where I'm starting to get to, which is the difficult challenges. The difficult solo challenges in particular. Best part of RuneScape. And what makes me sad is so many people that play RuneScape will never get to the best part of the game. I would say
It's kinda true.
at least half of all RuneScape
A lot of people quit before like you even get to the good parts. And the good parts don't even start until you basically finish everything.
And
All the
what
quests.
makes old school RuneScape so special is they don't bend the knee to casuals. This is a game for grinders.
Yeah, they don't.
Grind, or you get the fuck out.
And it just makes
Basically.
feel better over time, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like the game design of it, right? Like when you unlock like traveling with fairy rings, and you can use law runes to teleport around. So it's just kept getting better and better. And I'm still playing. I've like, what is it, 80 days now on my on my account.
Love
Which is
that.
ridiculous.
Meanwhile, other WoW turned OSRS streamers took an entirely different approach to the game. Guzu is likely the most well-known convert, as his guideless quest cape journey created some truly memorable moments. It captured the same feelings that early episodes of Alien Who's Unguided series did, wherein a player discovers the wonders of the world unbegotten to metas and viewer demands. While Guzu didn't connect with the management side of RuneScape as much, he did resonate with an aspect that most streamers didn't: the quests. Arguably one of the most, if not the most, distinguishing feature of this MMO that most people overlook. Quests in RuneScape are single-player adventures filled with challenges, puzzles, and quite a lot of dialogue. While you can use the Quest Helper plugin to simplify them, just the sheer fact that a RuneScape quest can kill your character in a boss fight distinctly separates them from other MMOs. You may be facing an existential, strangely barefooted
You can get
threat in
fucking
World of
popped out.
Warcraft, but it clearly isn't doing much to damage
Like that
you.
3 times on my hardcores, multiple times.
Care or believe in that threat.
Been there,
On
done
the other
that.
hand, in OSRS, you are not only dying to certain quest bosses, but sometimes are doing so repeatedly. It's unique that quests aren't there to be repeatable chores to slop through on your way to max level, but are a separate side of the game. They benefit your character's progression by granting great rewards and act as goals to achieve in and of themselves. Out of all of these players, Guzu's journey felt the most insular and compact. Most viewers likely understood that after the quest cape, he would explore different avenues or return back to WoW. But along those same lines, I think most players know that when OSRS receives a new quest, or a set of new quests, he may be the first back in line to
Okay.
experience them.
Guzu might come
Soda
back.
Poppin's initial interest in OSRS
God,
is
Soda
likely
Poppin.
what popularized the meta
Temporaz,
after Guzu
boy.
jump-started. While I don't have much to say
It's
about
kind of
Soda
true. He
Poppin
was
as
one of
much
the
as
first
the
people to
game
jump
left,
ship,
understand
and then
it,
one of the
but
first
not
people to
really.
leave.
My Temporaz locked Ironman. A diary by Soda Poppin.
He's an influencer that now is responsible for some of the most memorable events in both games, WoW and RuneScape.
Whoa,
In
whoa,
WoW,
whoa,
he played a
whoa.
role in orchestrating OnlyFans, which contributed a lot of publicity to Classic WoW's anniversary release, and in
Dude, what's crazy is some of the WoW players came over and they started making a settled video. They literally locked themselves to Temporaz in wintertime. Like graze for days. Like,
Damn, I
what
thought that
are
was
you guys
going.
doing? Like, play the game first. Idiots.
OSRS.
Well, that's because all the guides say do 99 fire making at Wintertide first, and all this other shit.
Funny crossovers in recent memory. His influence.
I didn't even get halfway on fire making.
Daryu is an interesting case. He didn't play as much OSRS as some of his peers had, but his takeaways were fascinating. His adventure into RuneScape felt like a fact-finding mission. I never got the impression that he would quit WoW, but rather explore an alternate world and then apply that world's success to WoW.
Right.
Out of all these streamers, Zaryu spent a lot of time post-OSRS thinking about the elements of the game
That's
that
a
would apply
lot.
well to Classic Plus,
Right.
the version of Classic WoW that fans are eagerly waiting for, a version that would turn Blizzard's penchant for re-releasing old content on its head by having them create actually new content for Classic WoW, and potentially set it on a separate path to the main game, much like OSRS did to RuneScape 3 all those years ago. As a WoW player, I'm excited to see what Classic Plus looks like. As a RuneScape player, I'm incredibly skeptical. I made an entire video about why, one that not only became my
Damn.
most controversial,
Looked away.
but was also reacted to by Zaryu and gave me the opportunity to reach out and ask about the topic of this video. This is
Oh,
what he said.
we don't even have this
In my
other.
eyes, it came down to two things mainly. The first reason is that most WoW creators / streamers are streamers, meaning they need to do what's best for them, but also for their communities. And when they were originally playing OSRS, they had an influx of 2 times or 3 times normal viewership. So as a streamer, it's a no-brainer to play more of that game. But once that falls off, it becomes harder to justify even if you're enjoying the game. The harder question to answer is, why did the viewership fall off? Novelty wearing off, or mid-game too grindy? I believe the masses get bored of the repetitive nature of the mid-game, even if
Yeah.
it's good game design. My suggestion, mains can easily be cheated by being given some of the best loot in the game, making them not as good to stream because it undermines the entire journey of obtaining items when everything is given to you. And
Okay,
Ironmen
true.
have an insane grind that is tough to stream to a super large audience because of how grindy it can get. Although I believe irons to be more fun to watch than mains for the most part of the journey, I think a bronze man of sorts, minus the PvP
Bronze
portion,
man
i.e.
hype!
no lootable items in PvP, would solve this. This would cut farming down by a ton and also allow for an authentic journey without handouts. This type of game
In short, guys, me and Czar talked about this a lot, and we were on the same page about this, but Bronze Man would solve a lot of issues for streamers, which is we don't want to we want to stream a lot of like the cool, interesting stuff and the best parts of RuneScape, but streaming the grinds, you can only be a just chatting streamer for so long, and if you want to be an entertaining streamer a lot, it's a lot of grind. It's a lot of grind to try and be an entertaining just chatting streamer for, and to be able to skip some of those grinds, like 30% or 40% of the grind, but still have the glory of the Ironman. A bronze man would be the happy medium in between, and it would be the best streaming mode. And that's why a lot of streamers want this mode, at least from like talking to me and Czar about it. So that's kind of what Czar's saying here, summarized.
mode, I believe, would have appealed the most to nearly every WoW streamer, but it didn't exist officially. After returning to WoW, Zaryu created a spreadsheet of all kinds of different ideas that could be added to Classic Plus, and then polled his viewers on each one using the very same polling breakpoints that Jagex does for OSRS.
Yeah.
70.
I personally wouldn't mind hardcore normal accounts either. I'm not really sure why those don't exist, but for whatever reason, Jagex thought they wouldn't be a good idea. So you got to trust Jagex. They know more about game development than I do.
Percent to pass. I also spent a couple hours discussing this very spreadsheet with resident OSRS chunkman Josh Isn't Gaming on an upcoming episode of Fireside, my podcast. So look out for that on my second channel within the next week or two. Anyway, Zaryu's takeaways are very important to understand because they will help us tie things together in this video's conclusion. I think it's fair to say that Sardako went hard. He, alongside Jokered, spent more time than anyone else in RuneScape, and has the achievements to prove it. He got the first Bofa and the first Inferno cape. RuneScape's PVM clearly resonated with him. I also spent some time
The only thing I want to do
about OSRS, Classic Plus, and the topic of this very video. He had a similar takeaway to Zaryu. An official Bronzeman mode with restricted PvP would have kept more WoW streamers playing. I'd be hard-pressed to disagree, since adding new game modes doesn't damage OSRS at all. You really don't need new servers or to split the player base to improve them. While I know there were other streamers checking the game out, I think my broad conclusions about Burnout apply to them well enough that I don't need to spend more time analyzing specific cases. But shout out to them nevertheless. You can see some of them on screen here. The final content creator I want to mention isn't a streamer at all. Mad Season Show is the most well-known classic WoW YouTuber. He has been making WoW content for over a decade and has made a brand out of his monotone voice, compelling analysis, and predictions over impending monetization. Told you so. Over a year ago, he checked out old school RuneScape and enjoyed it so much that he wanted to create an unguided series. It quickly became one of my favorite pieces of OSRS content ever. It tapped into that alien food unguided appeal while coming from a voice that has never touched the game before. Watching him stumble through without even the pre-existing context of how the game works is incredible. Seeing him discover how to splash on seagulls in Port Sarim totally through deduction, or spending dozens of hours grinding Wintertod for a dragon hatchet. Seeing him wrangle the game's occasionally obtuse systems is not only some of the best content, it's crucial for game design too. That's the benefit of having so many new players check out OSRS, and why it has seen so much growth over the past few years. While the jagged edges of the game are nostalgic and very important to keep in some ways, they aren't all winners. Over time, Jagex and plugin developers alike have alleviated many of the overbearing points of friction and created a much more palatable onboarding experience.
Friction
In
mentioned?
no small part thanks to content creators like Mad Season, who point out flaws that have been ignored thanks to a player base that hasn't made new accounts in many years. Since he started playing, the game added login tips, skill summaries, and slightly more guidance that made old-school RuneScape more approachable without sacrificing its identity as an old-school MMO. Many of these streamers have left, but not without making an indelible mark on the game we all love. RuneScape only benefited from their presence. They showcased the flaws and successes of the early game, allowing Jagex to continue improving aspects.
Wait, I think the viewership. Oh, I'm reading a comment, but I'm also killing something. I think the viewership went down a lot because a lot of streamers were lazy, not doing anything fun or new. We needed more stuff like TOA Fridays. That was bomb when everyone was still there. I'm glad to hear you guys like the TOA Fridays. I tried my hardest to get the streamers together and rally every Friday to do stuff together. And then we ended up doing Cox and stuff like that. And I feel like the viewership was good. I feel like you guys come out and watch those things, which is amazing. We should do more collabs and stuff like that. Here is why we don't do more stuff like that. There is so much grinding that you need to do on an Ironman that it's like, feels like a waste of time sometimes to stop what you're doing and actually go have fun, because there's so much grinding. And it's a shame that it feels like that, but for Ironman, it's like you need to get to a certain point before you can go and grind and do things. And a lot of people are kind of stuck in their own element. Like they have their goals and things they want to accomplish. And then there's some of us are EU and some of us are United States, and it's tough to like sometimes meet in the middle and run those things together. And ultimately, RuneScape is a game where you want to like have good gear so that you can farm stuff quickly. And you just really don't get to that point very fast on an Ironman. So even though you're getting like, 1 or 2 KC here and there, a lot of times it's better to like not do that and wait till like a few months later and then come back and farm that content quicker later on. So there's a reason why like Slayer is the meta, because Slayer gives you some really good items without a ton of effort once you get the Slayer level, right? And so, we'll farm these raids a lot faster once everyone has a BOFA, right? But it takes a long time to get a BOFA and a full crystal set. Right now, only me and Joker have that, and everyone else is in CG farming. And for a while, we had to wait for everybody to like green log perilous moons. And that took a while. And so it's a lot of waiting on your friends to like catch up to you if they started later or they didn't play. And so it's just a lot of grinding. It's there's nothing that can compare the amount of grinding and prep that you have to do in RuneScape to any other game that I've ever played. And so it can just get to a point, and it's like, yeah, we'll do like 1 or 2 TOAs, a week, but even a week of grinding doesn't really put your account in a much better position than it was a week ago. You need months to progress in this game. And so that's why it's tough it feels tough. Like I want everyone to, once everyone gets a BOFA, then I feel like we could do more content, but even then, they're gonna need another 6 months before we can start efficiently clearing TOBs. Because I'm trying to put my account in TOB status right now, but I'm still far away from it. I need 87 Slayer, then I've got to grind stuff, and then we can maybe get into some TOBs, but it would be better if I waited until after the Yama grind, which I first need to get a Synapse so I can get a Scobo so I can get into Doom and start grinding Yama, and then maybe I'll have a decent enough gear to where we can farm TOBs. And then by the time I get that, maybe Joker will be ready, but like nobody else will be there for like 6 months TOB status unless we're carrying them. So it is tough to do stuff like that. Now we don't have to do raids. We could do other content, but that's something I got to think about. I don't really know the game well enough yet to start planning around and doing other content. And I think that is something that I need to start thinking about and doing. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
That aren't criticized enough. they personally experienced an entirely different subgenre of MMO, and most importantly, they created amazing content for all of us to watch. The one thing that didn't benefit yet is World of Warcraft. In fact, this is where things become complicated. Many streamers and viewers that play both games or just WoW have settled on a single takeaway: make Classic Plus like old school RuneScape.
Yeah.
They love WoW, they want Classic Plus to be successful, and OSRS looks like the kind of paradigm to apply. My controversial video on this subject essentially took the counter to that, arguing that WoW does not have the systems, backend, and community necessary to translate old school RuneScape success, and in addition to that, doesn't have a company running it with a vision for the game's future. You can't just—
Guys, anybody saying de-iron is not an option. If you guys aren't listening, maybe you guys weren't here for the beginning of the video, people don't really care about mains. As a streamer, de-ironing is not an option. So we either get a bronze man mode or we stay iron. Those are the two options.
True.
And as a streamer, I think most streamers would agree with that. That's
Nah,
just the
you
way
just
it
have
is.
to have a main account too.
Parts of OSRS
You just needed to have a main account first to play through, and then play through it on Iron.
The management side of OSRS, the herb runs, the farming, the fletching, the crafting, that is what breeds longevity. That's what makes RuneScape a long-term MMO, and why even classic WoW struggled to retain persistent activity outside of its patches. For example, many WoW players look to OSRS and say, I wish WoW could make the kinds of solo challenges RuneScape has, without understanding that it can't. Not really. RuneScape isn't driven by the holy trinity of tank, DPS, and healers. It doesn't have classes or respective
I love that about
specializations,
RuneScape, by the way.
meaning that every player has access to the same utilities and offensive
Perfectly
approaches
balanced game.
as any other.
Perfectly
there
balanced.
are no limits to what
everyone's
you
the
can
same.
and can't be based on choices you made during character creation. The roles and specializations associated with the Holy Trinity are crucial for WoW's identity. They aren't conducive to solo challenges. The only method through which this would be possible would be if Blizzard dedicated an inordinate amount of time creating challenges for specific specializations, like 30 of them. It's untenable from a content creation standpoint. And we know this because they've kind of tried it before. In the Legion expansion, there was a patch that added an activity called the Mage Tower, which was a solo challenge that awarded a unique cosmetic for your specialization. It was actually a collection of 7 challenges,
we're
with
late.
each individual one encompassing a certain grouping of specializations that had the utilities required to deal with those specific encounters mechanics.
There we go,
It was
jeez.
really good, actually.
Slacking
I
on
loved
that
getting
one.
the appearances back in 2017. But that was in a version of the game where classes are already homogenized. Most already had interrupt, self-heals, and other forms of CC. That is—
A lot of people prefer the restriction being placed by the game and not by a self-imposed one. Yeah, that's why I said if Bronze Man was an official mode, then it would be like, it would be perfect, especially for streamers, because they could get past some of the grinds a little bit quicker, but still have the validation from the game officially that they earned everything that they have. But they maybe just didn't do as many farm runs as an Iron did, right? So that's kind of where we're at. You either play Iron, where I'm at least, I'm gonna just speak for myself. Where I'm at, I'm either an Iron Man, a Bronze Man, or nothing, is where I'm at right now. That's what I've decided.
not the case in classic.
And it has to be official.
Specializations are very different from one another. Some tanks, like the Protection Paladin, don't even have a taunt button. Utilities are separated, with only some classes and specializations able to do things like solo dungeons. You wouldn't be able to create 7 encounters, you'd need to create over 20. The only other solution is to apply the same level
Would
of
you try a UIM?
homogenization that would
No.
kind of ruin
I'm
the
gonna time you
spirit
out for
of
asking
classic
that.
WoW classic. So while it is easy to say just do what RuneScape does,
Would you do a
it
UIM?
can't. It doesn't map on.
That
And when one
guy's
quits
crazy.
RuneScape because of the, say, overbearing management grind, only to turn around and say, man, I hope Classic Plus copies RuneScape. No, you don't. And it can't. WoW players aren't going to like that. You won't like that. The game doesn't have the infrastructure necessary for a long-term horizontal progression. The only way OSRS achieved this is by not being as combat focused.
Yeah.
Much like my takeaway in that one controversial video, it's a ship of Theseus.
Damn. He's cooking, man. He's really cooking with this. You can't really have a horizontal progression game mode that's purely combat. What strings out the horizontalness of this game is that it's like 90% skilling. That's what makes it take so much time. If it was all combat, I mean, I don't know if they could have enough design in the game in WoW to like string it out and make it take as long as what RuneScape does. I just don't think that, I don't think the game design works like that. And there's so many different classes and specs. Imagine you have 24 different classes. You got to keep all of the balance and make gear for every single one of those classes and specs over the next 20 years. So you automatically need 24 times the amount of gear that you would have to design for like an old school RuneScape. And you have to keep it all balanced. And now you're struggling with balance. And not only for PVM, but also for PvP. And it's like, dude, it is a structural nightmare to try and do this into classic game design. It's too much. My brain starts to explode when I think about it.
To create a sustainable future for Classic Plus, you'd need to perpetually strip it of elements that define World of Warcraft. And while I would personally like Blizzard to swing for the fences and truly try something different, I fear that a lot of WoW players may not want that at all. It's part of the reason why many of these streamers played more OSRS than they did Classic Anniversary, even though many of the former systems didn't appeal much to them. This is RuneScape's identity. It's not that WoW or Blizzard shouldn't take it, it's that they probably can't. I asked Zaryu what he hopes Classic Plus takes from old school RuneScape. He said this: "My final takeaway is that every game is different, and you can't one-for-one copy everything for other games like WoW because it simply doesn't work. Skilling doesn't exist in WoW, and it doesn't need to necessarily. Things like WoW having classes, larger raids, etc., these are staples of WoW and make it so that you can't just copy-paste all things from RuneScape. So the idea is to honor that the games are different, but still gain inspiration from some things that work. Mainly systems.
Collection
the biggest
logs.
by far in my eyes are 1, the voting
Achievements.
system, 2, honoring the tradition of the game, and 3, when adding new content, it shouldn't completely invalidate all of the old content." It's easy to see where he's coming from, and I generally agree. Our views do differ slightly though, such as my perspective that I don't think polling would work in Classic because the player base doesn't have a general broad vision for the game and haven't yet been put in the position to need to—
Damn, Theory-Wise just said Classic players don't know what's going on. They don't know what's best for the game. You think you do, but you don't.
consider its longevity in the future, which could lead them to vote in things that seem appealing in the present but detract from its future sustainability. The success of polling in OSRS first stemmed from the community's fear of change. This allowed the developers to prove themselves, create a vision for the future, and only then pitch ideas that are larger, greater, evolutionary. If this collective detour into old-school RuneScape improves another world that I love dearly, then that's nothing but a win in my book. I don't think World of Warcraft is cannibalizing RuneScape's player base. It's not similar enough of a game, but I do think it can learn from RuneScape's successes. And the first place to start, if not the developers, is the influencers that can create the necessary conversations to make that happen. If I am to wish for something, it'd be for all of these talented content creators to—
You heard it. He said World of Warcraft, Blizzard needs to listen to the influencers. So Blizzard, whenever y'all are ready to fly me out, let me know. I don't need first class or anything. And we can have a nice little round table discussion. I do like coffee with 2 creams. But other than that, that's all I require. And I will be ready to fly out and talk to you guys at any point in time. Just let me know.
who lay the foundation needed for Classic Plus. Not for it to exist, but for it to thrive. So, why are WoW players quitting old school RuneScape? Well, I'm not sure if they are, because they're taking just a little bit of RuneScape back with them.
Bars. This is the best damn video I've seen in a long ass time. Chat, W3Wise. W, if you enjoyed that video in the conversation today. I think he absolutely nailed it. And he interviewed a lot of different creators here about the situation of WoW versus OSRS. And TheoryWise is a WoW and OSRS player. He absolutely nailed it and collected the data and spent the time and art.
Oh, hey, what's up, Cakes? Well, my bad. How you doing? Can't stay gaming with friends. We'll be back. Okay. Enjoy your gaming. Hope you're having fun. Just wanted to drop in. Appreciate it. Thanks for saying hey. Let's go get the push-ups. Get some stretch.
I personally think that the streamers quitting RuneScape joke is not even funny anymore, but it's a very popular one. People seem to cling on to that one really hard. The quitting joke was funny for like a day when Showbet quit New World and got canceled, but that's about it. Yeah, I'm sure it's tough for like Savix and Guzu to deal with that too, but they probably just have people. I mean, Showbeck still deals with it today. People going in his chat, calling him a quitter and stuff like that. And it's they're not going in there to be funny. They're going in there to try and piss him off. Like it's really not the joke. I think the joke is actually funny. I think the intent behind it is no longer funny. It's now malicious and designed as a triggering mechanism. It's now being used as a one-guy mechanism to piss off the streamer. It's harassment. And that's more along the lines of like people taking a joke too far. And that's kind of how the culture is now. People turn a joke into harassment and they use it as fuel to try and piss a streamer off. And so the day that I go back to play TBC for OnlyFans, I'm probably going to ban a ridiculous amount of people, and it's gonna make me sad because when I start getting harassed, I get into a bad mood, and I'm just a human. That's something I'm bad at, and so it's gonna be a bunch of people just getting banned from the RuneScape section the day, and I know I'm gonna have to deal with that the day that I go back to WoW and play WoW. So I'm not looking forward to it, but I have no intent of quitting RuneScape. I actually intend on playing RuneScape as my main game because WoW is a seasonal game, and I finally realized that you can't play. WoW is not a game designed for you to play it forever. It's just not. And we have tried to do that for so long and been disappointed for so long that I realized I was just playing the wrong game. The entire time I've realized it. RuneScape
Valid.
should be the forever game. And you should play WoW seasonally and then come back to RuneScape after you're done playing that season of WoW. It just makes more sense to me. RuneScape is the baseline
Damn.
classic MMO. It'll always be here. You never lose your progress. You can go play WoW for a bit, go play a certain season of something for a bit, and then you come back and play RuneScape. It's just it should have been like this. It should have been like this with me from the beginning. But I had just tried to make WoW into RuneScape for so long that I just didn't know that there was something else out there that was you know, a better baseline game. You think playing WoW is worth it? Absolutely. World of Warcraft Classic is one of the best games ever created. It's not a lifelong MMO though. And it was never designed to be. People tried to make it into that. I tried to make it into that. And it's just not. I would get burnt out on World of Warcraft playing it every day faster than I would get burnt out on playing RuneScape every day. Because RuneScape has things for you to do for a very long time. World of Warcraft has like a month of content if you're playing it as much as I do. And then the only thing there is to do is do it again. You're not doing anything over again on RuneScape on an Ironman account for years. Like, you're not restarting another account you're, like, until you finish this one per se for like 3-4 years of playing almost every day. So that's why I say that, like, this is just a better baseline game because you have so much content you can do before you have to restart or do it all again, like make an alt. Like in WoW, the only thing for you to do is make an alt once you hit a certain, and then that's why people just play hardcore, because you have such high chance of dying. You just start over again. But I'm not really a person who enjoys doing the same thing over and over and over and over all the time. I need a change up. So I'm kind of burnt out on leveling
Bro, the
characters
servers
in
are
Classic WoW at this
ass.
point in time. I need a break from that. That being said, I think that
the fuck?
TBC hardcore provides a lot of new first-time playthrough style content and new metas for a hardcore playthrough. I've already done TBC on like 3 or 4 different characters for the second time just 4 years ago. So playing it normally will not bring
Well, what's
me
a
the same
better
joy as
server
playing
that
it
has better
through
ping?
on a
Like, this
hardcore
one has
character.
really good ping,
So
so what the
I am
fuck?
interested in playing TBC on a hardcore character
And it
because it's
doesn't.
new. The metas haven't been formed, and it's just more exciting to play hardcore in WoW. And I think it's more exciting for the viewers to watch it too. I think it's better content.
Yo,
So I
yo,
am
what's
looking
going
forward
on?
to doing a hardcore
How you doing?
TBC
Only
playthrough at some
Toa?
point. Especially with OnlyFans,
What the
because
fuck?
that's just good content anyway. When you get it, when you bring a bunch of content creators
Bro,
together, it's
what?
just better content. So it's
You're not
it's
carrying
exactly like
anything.
what I would be looking for
What the fuck?
to take a small break from RuneScape and then come back
I'm so confused.
in the future. But I don't know when that's going to happen. It's definitely not anytime in the next 3 or 4 months. I'm guessing like 6 months, maybe around May or June of next year or something. Isn't it 90% of Classic just for leveling? Yeah, but the leveling only takes you 5 days played. It only takes me 5 days played to get to max level, which I do that in 10 days.
LMAO
Because I play 10
soon.
hours a day, or 12 hours a day. So
Very
it's like,
soon.
what do you do if you're leveling X amount of characters? I'm almost never dying at this point in hardcore. Like what are you doing if you're leveling all these characters? You know, one character every 10 to 12 days.
You make more fucking characters, I
And then all of a
guess.
sudden you just have a bunch of hardcore level 60s, and they're all kind of just on raid log status. That's where I'm like,
I
hell
need
yeah.
some
That's
more
why I'm
bros,
super
bruh.
glad I found OSRS now, because now I actually have something to do when I'm on raid log status in WoW. or I'm burnt out of leveling characters or whatever. You know, I've got RuneScape now, and this is where I'll be hanging out for a very long time. Because I love MMOs, and I like
let's
that the
just
progress
finish
is
this
never
off.
lost. Guys, I mean, I would get owned. I would get absolutely destroyed on Gillinor game. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna need a few years of experience. These guys, they're probably.
I suppose I should do my first fucking herb patch run in a very long time.
Learning the game, playing
Maybe do a seaweed run too.
thousands of kills on bosses.
Be a good Ironman maybe.
Although,
I suppose.
I wouldn't have a target on my back because I suck at PvP. I'm not great at PVM, and I don't have a lot of knowledge. But, you know, maybe I would do my part in the challenges, and I would perform well enough to be an asset for my team so we can get victories, but not enough of a threat to be targeted. I don't know. Maybe there is an advantage of being in the middle in these type of challenges. Maybe I low-key have an advantage on Gillinor games. Never know. Clip that and send it to Soup. Guys, I don't think Soup is planning on doing another Gillinor games for a long time, okay? They're just getting this season out. Gillinor Game 6 starts filming in April. Season 5 was recorded in March.
Okay.
What?
Do we know? Do we remember how the fuck to do
We
these?
gotta get some AI.
Oh, I don't even have seeds in this hoe. That's funny. Seed. I mean, I have Snapdragons. We have a Ranar. I actually want to listen to this. So fucking bro, my brain is not fried, I swear. I just genuinely don't remember how the fuck these go. It's been so long, so I need to fill that up first. Wait, what? The fuck's in here? Oh jeez. Okay. Cotton, hemp, pillar frag, elcon, flax, fill, empty. I don't need white berry seeds. We need these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there we go. Holy fuck. We are not set up for these at all, my friend. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And then I think I still need a shovel, not, wait, right? I think I need a fucking shovel. Something tells me I need a shovel. Something tells me we need a shovel. Okay. Pull up to the fossil island real fast. That shit's actually mad loud. There we go. Boom. Haven't done these in so long. Maybe I should do a birdhouse run too. Maybe we're getting a little too excited here. Guess we should since we're already here. Oh, that's why I have the scuba gear. That's why, because the scuba gear's in here. Now I remember. It's all starting to come back to me slowly. Boom, boom. Oh, fuck, that's right. Stupid pets. There we go. Come here. We haven't been here in a long time. Ugh. Well, we did basically an hour-ish. Of some mixology. We might go back there. Fuck, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. I'm trying to get that done so I can get Cerebrus unlocked already. Because that sounds a whole hell of a lot more exciting than mining like 50,000 sand or whatever the hell it is I need for the crafting. Ooh. Little daunting. Your dig site pendant crumbled to dust. Good. We need to get rid of those things. Easy. Okay. Got those shut out. That looks good there. It looks chilling. What am I looking for here? Oh, we need the seaweed spore. Then we need the bottomless compost bucket. Then we need to put this on your ass, and then we can get the fook out of here. Then we can equip all this other stuff. Fill that. Now we need this. Okay, so now I can deposit this and this. Now I need 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. I need a chisel. Then we need 40 seeds. And that should be everything if I'm not mistaken. Road to the camp. I hope this is everything. Okay, reset this. Nice. Nice. Easy money. Acorn? Why do I want an acorn? That's silly. Okay, onward we go. Verdant the Valley. Let's see what happens once we throw this one on. Birdhouse is done. Okay, so now that we finished these apple tree seed, we don't need that. That's a ring of recoil, we want that. Okay, now if I'm not mistaken, I can go back to the bank. Come up and over here. Deposit the bird's nest, deposit this. We need the shovel. Deposit that. Wait, I don't need a teleport crystal. What am I doing? Okay, we should be good for a herb run, I think. Something tells me I'm fucking forgetting something. Why does it feel like we're forgetting a teleport? Are we? Oh, I'm forgetting a drum and stuff. That's what it is. Ah, I see. I figured it out. Okay. So now we have to go to our timers here. Oh, I guess we have some hemp seeds up here we can go and collect. Let's go grab them real fast, the hemp for the sailing shits. You know, I guess since we're doing a little bit of resource management here. Oh wait, I have the thing. Gee, mini Christmas. Looks so much better, holy shit. Yeah, bro. Unless we need frame rates, I'd rather run this. The 117 plugin, honestly. Okay. So we need to go to Keverby. Wait, should I put my camera down on the bottom right? Cause like, do you guys even care to see all the shit that's up here? That's the thing. I guess it could go down here, but it really doesn't fucking matter right now. Oh. So, let's go ectophile. Ooh, this place looks spooky. Okay, so up here, we're gonna want like a cadentine, probably. Fuck, all these are good seeds. Really doesn't matter, I guess. Definitely not the snaps or any of the ranors, though, that's for sure. Let's go to Weiss. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Let's plant a ranor here. Because I think I only have 2 protected patches, right? It's this and the other place. Oh wait, no, I have 3. That's right. The Falador, the Hosidius. That's right. Cool. I had a feeling I could plant these snapperooskies. Okay. We're gonna have to restore a thing next time. Fine by me. Fine by me, sir. Okay, cat inside. Oh my gosh, it's not the lag's fucking tile. Bro, I swear that's the lag tile. On my other PC, that was the fucking lag tile. Every time it would lag right there. I don't know why. Whatever the fuck's in this chunk every single time, it didn't lag. That's for sure. Okay. We got this one done. Teleport to the Camelot Taruski. Dugan Monastery. Wait, why the monastery? Farm. Cadentine. That. Then let's go to the Glade, I'm pretty sure. This one should be. Easy. Okay. That was the first farming run situated, you could say. Okay, let's grab our seeds out of here. So we need the pineapples, we need the willows. Let's grab the papayas and the magic seed. And the curry seed. Deposit, release those. Maybe leave those for now. Okay, now we need buckets of water. We need the little garden trowel. And then what else? What else are we looking for? Looking for the filled pots. Why can't I find water? Where's the buckets of water jugs? Here we go. Jeez. Gosh almighty, man. I'm confused. Where the fuck are the water jugs? Tab 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Water. I'm looking. Are we blind? I don't know. Let's go fill this jug up real quick, lock. Okay, cool. Now we need 5 more pots. Boom. Boom. Just like that. Oh wait, nope, we still have one more to do. Shit. What's this? It's a pineapple seed. Okay. Cool. So we can deposit the watering can in the trowel. And then should be good there. Do we start doing like tree runs too? No. Let's not get too crazy into this. No, thank you, sir. No, thank you. Okay, let's deposit that. Deposit those hemp. Deposit that. We should be able to come down here to. Oh shit, Jane. Contract, Jane. Yew tree. Oh, we got a yew tree. Okay, we might be able to do that. Okay. So we gotta go check the health of the yew tree, and then we gotta plant something too there. So I guess let's go check this bad boy out.
Farming contract
Completed.
Farming contract completed.
Oh, we got a Hespori seed. Nice. Okay, let's see what our contract is. Take on another hard contract. Lantodon. We do not have Lantodon growing. Okay. In that case, what is this? Mahogany seed. Whoa. Yew seed, nasturtium, curry tree seed. Not bad, you could say. Not horrible. Very not bad. Okay, where? Okay, there's one watering can. Where's the other fucking watering cans? Where the fuck's a watering can, bro? Am I genuinely blind or what? There's fucking so many of them. The heck's going on, man? Okay, we got a U seed, we got a willow seed. Oh shit. We need the trowel. Here we go. Willow seed, U seed, mahogany seed, curry tree 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 seed. Okay, cool. Now we basically gotta fill these things up. Empty watering can. Fill it up. Boom. Put that in there. Put that in there. I guess we could go and kill Hespori too. Oh, we also need snapdragon seeds. Oh, snapecrest seeds. So I should grab those. Should grab those while we can. Should start doing our limps again as well. That's just in all honesty here. So let's grab our limps out again. That should be good. Oh! Okay, nice. We got all the little things now. Oh shit. Let's get rid of all these saplings. Okay. Let's get rid of these saplings real fast. Nice. Now that we did that, we can also plant another. I don't really want to worry about that right now. So we have some seeds. I have a shit ton of maples. I should probably start running through. Okay. Let's go grab our seed box real fast again. The homework tab, change icon. Check. So we can put these in there and those in there. Then we'll check the Hespori out of there again real fast. Okay. I should just go do Hespori real fast. We're gonna call this the homework tub. Okay, cool. Okay, now let's try Bofa only. I'm kind of down for that. Could be fun. Kind of just curious. Let's see how this goes. Let's do that. Let's Bring one potion. Let's bring our anti-poison. And then let's bring all Karamborns. Was this a bad idea? This might have been a horrendous idea. Take this flower over here. Of course, we're gonna be curious about both of them. There we go. Not an easy dub, but did it. Both are too strong. I need a spade? What the fuck? What do you mean I need a fucking spade, bruv? Okay, we got our spade. That was like 20 seconds slower. That was crazy. Palm tree seeds? Yo, that's actually kind of good. I'm actually hyped.